When you guys think of fresh homemade bread, do you guys think of a labor intensive? Oh, it takes too long. Oh, it takes too many days. What if I could tell you you can make homemade bread overnight, 2 different fermentation processes, takes about 2 hours on the day to make, let it proof, and you guys get 100% homemade, rustic, no knead bread. This tastes unbelievable, you guys. The loaf is crusty on the outside. It's well done. It's soft on the inside. You can see all the fermentation holes on the inside of it. I tell you, this is, I've had some good bread in my life. This surpasses it tenfold, I tell you. Stay tuned and let's walk through how to make homemade bread together. Hello, loves, and welcome to today's video. Today is dinner. That's what we're doing for today. We are having a wonderful no knead bread by Jim Lahey with our dinner tonight, and I wanted to kind of walk you guys through how we got to this point as we're at right now with our dough already made. Let's take you back to yesterday. Hello, loves. Thank you so much for joining me yesterday. Today we are starting our no knead bread recipe courtesy of Jim Lahey. I'm referencing Food 52 Genius Recipes, 100 recipes that will change the way you cook. There you go. I will link the book and the recipe down below and on my blog as well. So we need to start off with 3 cups of bread flour, 1 1/4 teaspoons of fine table or fine sea salt, quarter. This is going to come together so fast, you guys. We need 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast. I've already opened up my package. Inside this package, do not use the whole package. Inside this package are 2/4 teaspoon helpings. So we need to use half the packet itself. So I'm just going to scoop out that 1/4 teaspoon instant or other active dry yeast. So there's that. I'll save that part for this next time I make bread. And then we need 1 1/2 cups of cool water. We need it needs to be between 55 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 13 degrees to 18 degrees Celsius. And that is it. We're going to mix this all together with a wooden spoon as specified in the recipe. We're going to stir this until it looks like a wet, sticky dough. He says to stir it for about 30 seconds. Wasn't kidding when I said this was going to come together fast. The reason we are doing this dough today and not tomorrow is because it needs to sit anywhere between 12 and the author recommends 18 hours. So we are just trying to get this all mixed up, make it look a nice shaggy mess. And then we're going to let it sit in a cool, dry place where there's no sunlight. Well, it smells good. It smells like making fresh pasta here. Okay, I think I'm actually going to get in here with my hands. Lightly flour my hands real fast. Because I do have some unincorporated flour at the very bottom of this container that and on my table that I do want to have incorporated. And it is still a wet, sticky mess. So I just want to make sure that we don't have any flour sitting in the bottom of our bowl here. Okay. That is it. I'm going to go ahead and cover this up with cling film. Let this sit either in my stove, on top of the stove top, in the microwave, just somewhere A, where the cats can't get to it, and B, somewhere that's a nice, cool, dry place. Once I get all the sticky flour stuff off my hands. So I will see you guys again in 18 hours. Till then. Alrighty, loves, welcome back to today. Now you can see exactly where we're at and how we got here. So let's take a look. Remove my cling film. Let's take a look at the fermentation process that we have right now. Look at all of these bubbles. Oh my gosh. The mixture of the dough is slightly moving, and it's nice and sticky to the touch. We're going to use our bench scraper, and we're going to lightly flour our surface here because we need to remove this completely from the bowl and turn it in on itself. So we're going to use our bench scraper, and we're going to try to pull it away. All of these delicate strands that have formed, that are clinging to the side of the bowl, that's all of our gluten, you guys. That's what makes bread. That's what makes bread. All righty, let's get our floured surface going on here. And I am using just a little bit more of bread flour so that I'm not mixing AP flour and bread flour together. And I'm trying to use as little as possible because I know this recipe calls for as little as possible of flour to be used. Get that a little bit at the end. There we go. There we go. Sprinkle just a little bit more on top so we can turn this in on itself. Whoops, I got flour all over my book. And we're still working with Food 52, the Food Genius Recipes book that has the Jim Lahey no knead bread recipe in it. So, and I will link that down below as well. Okay, we're sticking to our table. It's one thing we do not want to do. Just going to keep pushing this in on itself. And we're going to develop a seam here at the bottom, which is A-okay. We're going to gently place this back into our bowl, and we're going to let this rise for another hour to 2 hours for our second fermentation process. And then when we come back, we're going to actually stick our finger into the dough, and we're going to see if we can indent the dough about 1/4 of an inch. If that indentation stays in the bread, we're good to go, folks. If it doesn't, we're going to let it proof for about another 15 minutes per the recipe. We just stopped our second fermentation, and I wanted to show you guys all the little bubbles that you can see that are coming to the top of our dough, and that everything has proof now fully for the second time. We can pop those little bubbles if we want, but we're not going to because that's all gluten formation. This is all bread formation, and we are going to go ahead and turn this out on lightly floured hands into our preheated stock pot, our Dutch oven. I'm putting a piece of parchment paper into the stock pot so that I'll crinkle it down so that way we can lift out the bread at the very end of it. But our oven has been preheating at 475, and we put our Dutch oven in probably about 20-25 minutes ago. It called for 30, but I'm just going to err on the side of caution here. I'm just going to put a little bit of flour on top of our bread, and I'm going to turn this out onto my hands so that we can get this into a ball and then get it into our Dutch oven. It's still a little bit sticky, as you can see, but that's okay. The recipe said that the dough will be a little bit sticky. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn this with our seam side up directly into our stock pot. Just going to try to mush it around, just to make sure we're a-okay. Alrighty. Crinkle that in so that there's no exposing parchment paper, because I don't want that to burn in the oven, being that we're putting it up at super high temperature at 475. Alrighty. Go ahead and get the lid on this. I want that sink down. There we go. Alrighty. And we're going to go ahead and get this back into our oven, and we're going to let it cook for 30 minutes, and then we're going to remove the lid and then let it cook for another 15 to 30. And then at that point, it should be done. So we should be able to kind of thump on the bread a little bit, and we'll hear hopefully a hollow sound to know it's doneness. So give me just a second. I'll get this in the oven real fast. My, oh my, is that hot? I tell you. Okay, I'll bring you back in 30 minutes. Alrighty, loves, our timer just went off for our no-knead bread. So we're going to go ahead and pull this out of the oven. And I want to show you where we're at thus far. Oh my heavens, does this look yummy? We already have a nice crust starting. You can see all that gluten formation creating all those air bubbles in here. Alrighty, loves, let's get this back into the oven for another 15 to 30 minutes. Our bread has been in for a roasty toasty 45 minutes. Close the oven door and let me stir the chicken stock pot real fast. Hold on. Sorry about that. I'm making dinner and I just didn't want it to burn. Okay. Let me try to find a way to pull this out. I want to see if I can hear it thumping. I want to see if I can hear it hollow. I do not want the parchment paper. You guys hear that? Oh my goodness gracious. That hollow sound means that our bread is done. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over onto, honey, would you mind getting me another piece of parchment paper, please? Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, this is my very first time making bread. I can't wait to show you guys the top of this. This looks and smells incredible. Panera, who? What? You guys, look at the top of that bread loaf. Look at that crusty, crusty loaf. Jim Lahey, you sure have something here. Okay, I think we're good. I mean, that's hard, you guys. I was going to say, try to find a place to put like a cake tester or a toothpick in. This is done. That hollow sound means that this bread is done. So we are on to something, and I'm burning my fingers. Okay, we're going to let this cool for about an hour before we dive into it, tear into it, politely eat it. So yeah, alrighty. Loves, thank you so much for joining me today as we make some homemade no-knead bread by Jim Lahey. I will link the book and the recipe in my blog, links down below in the description box. I'm absolutely pleased as punch right now. I can't wait for you guys to try this recipe and tell me what you guys think. This is my very, very first time making bread, and I'm so, so thankful and blessed that you guys came along on this journey with me today. Psst, I'm back. Wanted to show you guys the inside of this bread. It's been about 45 minutes. It's cold enough. I cannot wait any longer. I've got to see the inside of this. Oh my goodness, I got to see the inside of this. Did you guys hear that crusty outside? Oh my goodness gracious. Trying to be careful not to cut my counter. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I am on cloud 9. This is, oh my gosh, this is the very first loaf of bread I have ever made in my 40 years. And this was a success. This is an absolute success. Still warm, so it's moist without being wet. You can just tell this is look at the holes, look at that gluten formation. All those little micro holes in this. Boy, guys, we really did something right here. I just had to share this with you guys. Okay, hugs and loves.